Today I messed up by inviting a work friend into the Discord where my friend group is in, and now I started hating him. So I, M22, started a new apprenticeship after my old job stopped being fun for me. Part of an apprenticeship in Germany is going to vocational school for that job. I met the guy, M18, there is a classmate of mine and he seemed nice enough. Talked a bit with him, we became acquainted and I thought I'd invite him to my friend's Discord. A few months later now he turned out to be a wannabe meme lord. Apart from that I don't actually know why I don't like him, which is the worst part, but I strongly regret having invited him to the Discord because my friends have no problem with him. So now I can't get rid of him without starting drama and I have to endure him joining the VC. The worst part is he's not even doing anything wrong really. I just really don't like the guy. So yeah, I guess I have sleep in the bed I made. Today I messed up by thinking my wife was saying Nantucket wrong. So my wife and I have been in Boston for the last year on a work contract. Our work finished and it was close to the time for us to be going back to the Midwest. Our work finished Friday. Our daughter has a doctor's appointment in Boston that she can't miss on Tuesday. Our landlord did not want to prorate us till the end of the month and wanted to charge us more than we cared to spend. My wife decided to book us a place in Nantasket, Massachusetts, on the beach for the same amount we would have paid anywhere else for the same amount of time. My wife's first language is not English, and when she told me about this place she got for us in Nantasket on the beach, I with confidence said she must be talking about Nantucket, an island that you need to take a ferry to get to. I was so excited to go to Nantucket. For whatever reason we did not look in a map where the address was. Likely because I figured we would look up the address when we got to Nantucket, where the resort obviously was. We had to pack up all of our stuff today and load it in our van. We left Boston and headed for Nantucket. We knew we had to catch a ferry and had missed the noon ferry, so we had to wait for the one at 8 p.m. We had thought about leaving our van on the mainland and just paying for parking, but as we had planned to stay from Sat to Tuesday we decided to pay to ferry our van across. There and back $500. If you can catch the ferry on standby. It seemed pretty steep, but we bit the bullet and finally caught the ferry. On the way over we were talking about how great this weekend was going to be in Nantucket. At some point while we are on the last ferry of the night my wife pulls up a map with the reservation on it and we clearly see that our reservation is on the Cape in Nantasket. Not on the island. Nantucket. The last ferry of the night stays on the island. The island we did not have a reservation on. We did manage to get a hotel with 2 rooms last minute for $350. We have a ticket for the ferry back scheduled for the 3rd. We are going to try our luck getting out of here on standby tomorrow afternoon. Sunday. We still have to make it to Nantasket where we do have a reservation. Today I messed up by reacting with Evie to my friend sharing that she had scabies. I missed a call from one of my best friends, who I've been really missing lately as I haven't seen her in a while. I called back about half an hour later thinking it was maybe her wanting to catch up. After a "Hi, how are you?" she told me that she had scabies. I without even thinking let out a low-key "ew." Immediately felt my stomach sink knowing that was not an appropriate reaction. I apologized straight away, but the damage was understandably done. We talked for a minute or two about what the treatment is, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go now," and just hung up. I sent a follow-up text a minute later, apologizing again and saying while it took me by surprise that there was no excuse for my reaction. She responded saying she's really hurt and expected better from someone supposed to be one of her best friends. I followed up asking if there is anything I can do to help the situation. I'll leave it that for now, as I imagine she probably doesn't want to speak to me. I feel sick. I had been feeling a bit hurt prior by the length of time we hadn't seen each other, but that's now moot. Today I messed up by getting hard during prep for a vasectomy. This happened yesterday, but it's exactly what the title says. A beautiful woman, roughly my age, 26, did the prep work. She had an amazing body, very attractive face, and of course I was the lucky one to get her. She told me to undress, then came back in the room before I was covered, and she wasn't fazed, not like I'd expect her to be. As you can imagine, she was very hands-on with everything, didn't know how much penis touching there would be. I thought it would be all about the boys downstairs. She started, and besides for the shaving it felt like a massage, and that's when it happened. I was laying at a weird angle so I couldn't see her hands, her body, her face, nothing. I didn't apologize for the sake of making it more awkward, I just kept my silence. Was in the back room of the office, so as I was taking the very long walk out I feel like all the nurses were staring at me like they knew. I imagine this happens all the time, but I'm not 100% sure. Today I messed up by giving my boyfriend head on an empty stomach. So my F23 boyfriend, M22, went out for a date last night. It has been about 3 weeks since we had last had some alone time with each other. We got back pretty late and immediately fell asleep. Since it was a lovely night, I decided to surprise him with a morning head. I got to work and he had a happy ending. We watched an episode of Gen V and cuddled each other until my stomach started to rumble. It was like someone had used a bicycle pump on my stomach. I let out a silent fart thinking it was just gas. Boy was I wrong. It smelled like something had crawled up my ass and died. And the worst part is that after that fart snuck out, others followed. I was like a trumpeter in a mariachi band. I jumped out of bed and ran to the toilet, and that's when liquid hell shot out. It was like I was peeing out of my butt. This went on 4 more times over the span of an hour. Needless to say, I found out that the end juice is very high in fructose and acts like a laxative if swallowed on an empty stomach.